When enjoying a plot-driven story, it can feel sometimes very similar to a road trip. We have our cast of characters bundled into a van called plot progression as they travel through the world that the author has built. The scenery behind them tends to blur by as they speed from one plot point to the next. There's little time allotted for our characters to enjoy where they are and explore the world around them. As this is a series focusing on Invincible, we are going to explore some of the writing techniques and storytelling techniques that Episode 3 employs in order to better expand its world, make its world feel fleshed out as if it spins on when our characters aren't driving from plot point to plot point. We open on Omniman giving a speech at the Guardians of the Globe's funeral. Some of the suspense from the last episode is carried over into this one as he gives a seemingly heartfelt obituary to some of his friends and companions. The world looks on as he goes to their funeral, never knowing that he is the perpetrator of their death. We watch the world react to the death of its heroes, and some of our characters react to the death of loved ones. Even some characters who aren't shown on screen a lot are shown reacting to people they loved perishing. A very important emotional beat to hit after exploring the way the murders were committed and the investigation surrounding those murders in episodes 1 and 2. Mark and Adam Eve have a chance to explore their own sense of mortality. Having just in the last episode faced death in the Flaxen invasions, they now look upon the graves of heroes they looked up to and see that they are not immortal. And the plot for this episode is fairly simple. Cecil wants Robot to assemble a new team to protect the world while he investigates Omniman, as Damien Darkblood, and at the end of the last episode, greatly roused suspicion surrounding Omniman's involvement with the murders. Mark gets himself a date with Amber Bennett, and the hero we had a crush on in the last episode, Adam Eve, becomes recently single after witnessing a debacle between her boyfriend and one of her teammates. A love triangle is formed, tearing young Mark between Amber Bennett, the girl he's always had a crush on in school, and Adam Eve, the girl who shares the burdens of being a hero with him, also struggles with secrets, survivor's guilt, and too struggles with balancing home and hero life. Not much of a contest, if you ask me. The next 10 minutes of the show focuses on Robot's attempt to build up the new Guardians of the Globe. We get a chance to see Eve react to her boyfriend cheating on her by channeling all of that rage and energy into forcing her way up into the ranks of the new Guardians of the Globe. And as a contrast, we see how her now ex-boyfriend reacts by harassing a little girl who turns into a monster. Mark, of course, gets a chance to show his heroic side and interrupts this fight, even though he turns down a position on the new team. It's all about fleshing out these new characters, showing us who they are. They aren't main characters, but they serve to fill in the world a little bit. And they are the embodiment of the world reacting to episodes 1 and 2. This is something that's very important for creating stories, showing characters and your world reacting to events. Sometimes the fallout of an event such as Omniman's destroying of the original Guardians of the Globe is more impactful than the actual event itself. The show then employs another very useful writing technique, letting its characters breathe by showing Mark, our main character, at rest. What does he do when he's not engaging with the plot? The answer is, of course, enjoy his first date. Mark has a ton of fun with Amber Bennett, talking about comic books and other books he's never read, making jokes, but comes into immediate conflict with Cecil, who of course wants Mark to be a hero. Now, when given the choice between being a hero and pursuing a romantic relationship, Mark chooses to be a hero and abandons Amber. Not a great way to end a first date. The show is taking this chance to show us Mark adopting his father's hero complex. He sees himself as being the kind of person who can keep a secret from someone he wants to pursue a relationship with. Not a great idea. One writing technique that is fairly commonly employed and almost always powerful when well done is a character keeping a secret from someone he loves, and that secret slowly poisoning their relationship. Now, Invincible does a great job of exploring this later on, but for the moment, it's just a classic superhero trope, as we've seen in the veins of Spider-Man, even Superman at some points, and especially Batman. Invincible loves deconstructing this trope and showing that at his heart, Mark doesn't want to have a real relationship with Amber right now. He wants to keep a pet girlfriend that he can hide away his heroic side from and kind of have fun with on the side. Kind of a jerk move on his part. Mark's journey then to save Mount Rushmore from a mad scientist allows the show to explore him and Eve, doing hero stuff not directly tied to any plot progression. This fight isn't going to suddenly propel them forward in their mutual goals. It's not going to unravel the secret of Omniman. It's just them being heroes, living in the world that they're in. The show also takes a chance to show us how well they work together in a working relationship and some of the romantic tension between them. But that romantic tension is often cut short because Adam Eve kind of softly shut Mark down in the last episode. Now, she's recently single and kind of looking to mingle, but Mark isn't having any of it. Another chance that the show takes in this battle is to show us a refreshing scene where heroes save the world and people don't have to die. In every episode before this, people have died almost every time our heroes have tried to save someone. But this time, there are no innocent casualties, which is a nice change of pace. It's showing us what Mark strives to be, what Eve strives to be, the goal that they're pursuing, to be the kind of people who protect in a world that is very dangerous. There's no world-shattering secrets, no trauma of survivor's guilt, just them battling a rather funny social justice warrior scientist, and Mark exploring the fact that his social IQ is fairly low as he doesn't catch a lot of the hints Amber is sending his way. When Mark comes home, however, there's an important moment between him and his dad. One that I will explore in later episodes about payoffs. Omniman notes that he left a girl in his room and approves, gives his son the thumbs up for keeping his girlfriend out of the loop. As we know, this is something Omniman is currently doing to Mark's mother, even though Mark doesn't know this. Of course he would approve that Mark keeps his pet girlfriend in the dark, because that seems to be what Omniman's doing with everyone around him. Omniman himself has just come back from fighting a giant tentacle kaiju and being on the ropes, but just sweetly lies to his wife and hands her a tentacle and asks her to cook it. These are all concepts that would be very difficult to explore if the episode was very plot-driven. Now, that's not to say episodes that are highly driven by the plot don't take their chance to explore the world and the characters who live in them, but it is very hard to do that when your characters are rushing from place to place. So they don't have a lot of chance to introspect, and we don't have a lot of chance to get to know them whenever they're not in mortal danger. We even get one last tearful moment for Eve where Rex tries to make some lame excuses and get back together, and she rejects him, deciding that she wants to work on herself, pursue new things rather than trying to hold together old broken things. She flies over to Mark, ready to confess her feelings, I imagine, but then sees him making out with Amber. And she handles it in a very healthy and mature way, just saying, "Good for you, I'm flying off." This only reasserts to us as the audience why she is a great person and an awesome pick for Mark, even if I think she should have shot her shot anyway. That's how dating works, after all. You're more awesome than the person they're currently dating. Just do it. We then get to explore the GDA's really cool prison system where the Mahler twins, our villains from the first episode, are released in a really cool payoff by the mysterious robot who seems to be working for reasons unknown. Damien Darkblood shows up in the post-credits scene just to throw a little bit of plot spice in there and sow some dissension with Omniman's pet wife. Debbie begins to question, along with Damien Darkblood, Omniman's role in the murder of the Guardians of the Globe. Why hasn't he opened up to her? Why is he keeping her in the dark? Very good questions that will be explored later in the season. Episode 3 does a great job of exploring why scenes don't have to be plot-driven to be engaging. This episode takes the chance to lay a lot of groundwork for payoffs later in the season, focusing mostly on exploring our characters and widening our view of the world of Invincible, showing us how Mark is slowly becoming more like his dad in ways he is not, being a hero. It explores Adam Eve, showing her growing out of what she originally imagined for her life. Perhaps a life with Rex on the new Guardians of the Globe? No. She's beginning to grow into her own person. All these things are very well done, and they're done in a way that allows the show to explore its world and its characters without needing to gas it with the plot. They use action, drama, romance, and character motivation, just how we know our characters react to situations to drive each scene home. It never feels slow or boring because we're exploring things we're interested in, things the characters are interested in. We have a sense of progression even if the plot hasn't actually gone anywhere, because our characters themselves are progressing. Episode 1 hooked us on the series. Episode 2 built the world and made us love it. Episode 3 allows us to live in this world for a while and see how things go when nothing world-shattering is happening. Unlike a road trip where things only come into focus when our main characters slow down to explore certain sites, Mark is kept largely out of the loop for a lot of this plot. Cecil and Damien so far have been keeping to themselves, not keeping our main characters in the loop. And it's done in natural ways that never feel rushed, never feels cheap, and never feels like it's stalling for time. Everything is a natural character progression in this episode, just the world spinning on its own. A symptom of good world building, but something many stories don't do, because often people find the worlds they build less interesting than the stories they have to tell, and many stories suffer because of it. But Invincible's mastery of great writing techniques, powerful character motivations, and solid plot structure makes every second of this episode engaging. It felt like a 20-minute episode when in reality it was 40 minutes long. I could hardly believe that when I looked back on the runtime when researching for this episode. And it's all done with the plot taking a back seat. Thank you for watching, and if you'd like to see more, subscribe and hit the bell icon, as I will be uploading every week as best I can. Hopefully I'll be able to get these out by the Sunday of each week, but I can't guarantee that as my schedule does tend to be pretty packed. But let me know in the comments below what you would like to hear about for the next episodes of Invincible, or what stood out to you in this episode as a great writing technique. I'll be sure to engage in the comments this time, as with the last 2 episodes, I was fairly busy and unable to be around for their premiere. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.